On this edition of CPT, thefts on campus. Are you doing enough to keep your valuables safe?
It's been a cleanup that never ends, and from the winter that left the campus battle-scarred.
And a disturbing post on Yik Yak has Curry students buzzing.
Curry Primetime Report begins right now.
Hello and welcome to CPT. I'm Brianne Callan.
And I'm Coppola. Let's get right to the headlines making news this semester.
A rash of break-ins has public safety warning students to be on alert.
And CPT's Scott Smith has been following this story and joins us in studio with more. Scott?
The incidents in question happened at 886 and SCRH, and with something so serious, many students are surprisingly not that worried. But it was enough to have public safety issue an email warning students to lock your doors and windows and to keep your valuables safe. After recent break-ins at South Campus Residence Hall and 886, Curry students are surprisingly unaffected by the thefts and are praising the efforts of Curry College's public safety department.
Well, I suppose I'm not terribly concerned. I mean, safety patrol seems to be working just as good as it always does.
In an email sent out on April 1st by Public Safety Chief Brianne, Greeley acknowledged that there was theft through an unlocked window at 886. And the email also urged Curry students to contact Public Safety with any information. Public Safety asked that resident students keep their windows locked and closed when not present in their room. They also recommend using your intuition if you see something suspicious. Still, students feel safe and are largely unaffected by the break-ins.
It sucks that people are breaking into buildings, but, you know, I feel safe. I feel all right.
Remember, if you see anything suspicious, contact Public Safety at 617-333-2222. For CPT, I'm Scott Smith. Kyle, back to you.
Thanks, Scott. The Curry community is coming together to help victims of the Nepal earthquake. The story has taken on new meaning as word spreads around campus that one of Curry's own has relatives in Nepal. The first-year nursing student, Yang-hee Gale, has grandparents and other relatives who are safe but now facing months and years of challenges to rebuild. Some are sleeping outside for fear their homes may still collapse. The Curry community held a candlelight vigil on April 30th, and donations for victims will be going around campus to help raise money for the earthquake victims. To get more information, please contact Reverend Therese Hoffman, who heads up spiritual life here on the Curry campus.
After 100 inches and way too many snow days, the winter of 2015 is over, but what damage is left behind? These pictures are from 886. The gutters are hanging off 886 due to ice dams, and other gutters are on the ground, and trees all over campus have been flattened. Even as late as a week ago, you could see snow still in parking lots, some piled right next to the mulch being used to plant the flowers. And rakes were a funny sight sitting in, you guessed it, snow piles. At nearby malls, there's still snow in some lots, but thankfully, no more can be seen here. Now our attention turns to the nicer weather, and CPT's chief weather forecaster, Joe Shaka, will give us his summer preview and even hurricane forecast a little later in the show.
This brutal winter has certainly taken its toll on the athletic teams and fields. Now, if you've been down to Katz Field, you may have noticed it's being ripped apart. Now, the field was put in 11 years ago, but the wear and tear has started to impact players, causing potential injuries. The new turf will be installed over the next few months and is expected to be ready for this fall sports.
Speaking of fall, a record number of students will be housed on campus in September. But for returning students, the pains of housing selection, held earlier in April, are still fresh in their minds. Is the random lottery the best solution, or are there alternatives? CPT's Brett Duffy reports.
Each year, the students at Curry College are given random lottery numbers, which allow them to participate in housing selection. And even though the lottery is random, each year students are disappointed with the lottery numbers that they receive.
I kind of hate that I haven't gotten a good number any of the years that I've been here.
I personally have not been a fan of housing selection for the last 3 years I've been here because every year I've gotten a bad number.
Dean of Students Mary Ellen Kiley spoke about the random lottery and how some students are upset that they keep receiving bad numbers each year.
It is truly a complete lottery system. We put all numbers in, and if you get a bad luck 2 years in a row, or a bad number 2 years in a row, it's truly the luck of the draw.
And when going to housing selection, be prepared because it might take a toll on your friendships.
Friendships are broken in this room. They are torn apart. Even though some students aren't happy with the lottery numbers they receive, majority of students agree that the lottery gives everyone an equal chance.
I think it's fairly fair. I think it's as fair as it can be.
According to Dean Kiley, the random lottery is the best way to distribute the lottery numbers, and they have no future plans to change that.
Currently, it is a true, straightforward lottery, so there would be nothing that a student can do to make their number a better number in this process that we currently have.
With over 1,000 housing deposits made this year, the only thing students can do now is hope for the best when it comes to housing selection. Reporting for CPT, I'm Brett Duffy.
Curry now has nearly 1,600 beds on campus.
This year's commencement speaker will be Mike Sheehan, the CEO of Boston Globe. Sheehan became the first CEO of the Boston Globe in January of 2014. His job includes overseeing day-to-day business operations and brainstorming new ideas to improve the Globe. He is also one of the founding board members of the One Fund Boston to support victims of the marathon bombings. Sheehan's career and life experiences will make for an inspirational speech for this year's graduating class. The commencement will be held Sunday, May 17th.
And those graduating will face one of the best job markets in recent memory. According to CareerBuilder.com, 65% of the nation's 2,000 biggest companies will be hiring college grads. The fields that have the most job openings today are information services, finance and insurance, business, and scientific services. The job market has been greatly improving over the past couple years. The hiring of college graduates this year will be up 16% from last year. And still to come on Curry Primetime Report, a cry for help on Yik Yak. Would you get involved?
And crumbling dorms on the north side. Is your room a showcase or a dungeon? We'll have a special report.
Stay with us.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, where I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
Welcome back to CPT. It was a post on Yik Yak that had many on campus concerned. The posting on the Curry Yik Yak timeline said, quote, "I've thought more about ending my life at college than I have my entire life. I'm a good person, I help people, and I'm always nice. And I get misery and bullying in return." As we know, Yik Yak isn't anonymous, so we had no idea who wrote this. The replies were nothing like you usually see on Yik Yak. They were helpful. They gave the student ways to get help on campus, particularly at our own counseling center. CPT took to campus to ask students, if you saw a suicidal post on Yik Yak, how would you respond?
I'm not sure. On Yik Yak, I'm pretty sure like if I did see a comment like that, I would definitely say something to them, like suggest counseling or something like that, or someone on campus that could definitely provide some type of service that could help them go through whatever that they're going through. So I definitely wouldn't just leave it blank like that, so I definitely would say something.
I'd like to say I would do something about it, but I can't say that wholeheartedly. It probably depends on my relationship with them also, I guess. But I would definitely think I would try to lend an ear if it seemed like a serious threat.
I would try to, I mean, it's anonymous, so
yes.
I would just try to do something on the app, I guess, and comment and be like there's a better way, like you can call someone.
The Yik Yak policy on privacy suggests that they could disclose information on a Yik Yak user in, quote, situations involving potential threats to any safety of any person. If anyone is having a stressful situation, you are urged to make use of the Curry College Counseling Center located behind the basketball courts near health services. Other campuses are also dealing with suicidal issues, particularly a sad story coming out of Roanoke College in Salem, Virginia. CBT reporter Alan Plott joins us with news about that and a wrap-up of other stories from campuses across the country.
Thanks, Brianne. The Roanoke College story is a very sad one. The small college, about the same size of Curry, is still reeling after the apparent suicide of one of their students. All students were notified on April 22nd in a campus email that a sophomore male student was found unresponsive in his dorm room. Officials labeled it an apparent suicide and offered extended counseling services on campus. For the 7th time this academic year, another Bridgewater State University student has allegedly been sexually assaulted. This time, authorities say a food service worker is involved. The arrest came after the student was subjected to an unwanted sexual advance and was inappropriately touched by him. According to police, the student said she knew the alleged assaulter, who was employed by the school's vendor service, Sodexo. The food service vendor was placed on administrative leave by Sodexo and posted a $1,000 bail and was released by campus police. Sodexo spokesperson Gregory Yost said the company is cooperating with police in the investigation. Rolling Stone magazine has been receiving some major backlash after publishing a widely discredited article about a rape on a University of Virginia campus. Now, an associate dean of students at UVA is firing back. In an open letter to UVA, Nicola Ramos says, quote, "Rolling Stone has deeply damaged me both personally and professionally, and that they haven't done enough to make amends." Aramo also says that the article falsely said she tried to discourage Jackie from reporting or discussing the alleged assault. The magazine officially retracted the article after the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism issued a scathing report this month, concluding Rolling Stone had failed to meet journalistic standards. And finally, in May, President Obama will visit South Dakota for his commencement speech. This speech will be for the Lake Area Technical Institute in Watertown. This will mark his 50th state that he has visited since he became president. The commencement speech will be on May 8th, and it will take place at the Watertown Civic Arena. And that's our look at other campus news. I'm Alan Plant reporting for CPT. Brianne, over to you.
Thanks, Alan. If you live on the north side of campus, you also live in the oldest section of Curry, with some of the dorms dating back to the 1950s. And some students say they are definitely showing their age. But are any renovations on their way? CPT's Alyssa McCann checks it out.
Students on the north side of campus are finding it hard to enjoy their living conditions, and it is clear that the old dorms, such as Lombard, State House, Scholars, and Mayflower, are in need of some serious renovations.
I'm here outside Lombard Hall, one of the freshman dorms on campus, where, as you can see, the exterior was renovated over the summer, but the interior is a total different story.
Some students are even living in forced triples, leaving barely enough room for their belongings and providing a stuffy environment. This makes it hard to feel comfortable as a freshman who's living away from home for the very first time.
I think it's a little worn down. I think we could, hopefully use something better, but it's convenient, but a little small. It's kind of old, but it's all right.
Mary Ellen Kiley explains a possible strategic plan they have for the future.
Every time we plan for the summer, we say, okay, can we do something in Lombard or Mayflower at a time which is a downtime, so it would least impact students. If we were to completely renovate an entire building, it might take a building offline. Then we would probably strategically plan for, okay, how do we allow for additional capacity, whether it is off campus or on campus.
It is time for Curry to start these renovations and take better care of these old dorms, just like they have with the new Bell Hall. I'm Alyssa McCann with CC8 TV.
Now, there are no plans to tear down any of the older buildings, but sporadic renovations will go on.
One of Curry's most beloved English professors, Bill Littlefield, is retiring at the end of the semester. His off-campus job has made him a national figure. He hosts the highly rated NPR show, Only a Game, which talks about sports. Littlefield was also one of the founders of Curry's faculty union, known as AAUP. Congratulations on your retirement.
It's been 1 year since Sodexo Union was founded. CPT's Andrew Schneider takes a look at how things are going and where the future will take them.
Students each day gather around the cafeteria to receive their meal for the day. Every time there is a Sodexo worker helping, who in the past year has been impacted by multiple changes at work.
It was 1 year ago the Curry community stood right here with workers, demanding for health benefits and to be treated equally.
Since that day, in April, a lot has progressed forward. We spoke with Wendy, who recently got elected as the union president, Chuck the baker, and Jules, a Sodexo worker. Each reflected on how life has changed.
Now you come to work and you had the respect that you were looking for. So it's awesome that we did this on such a short time.
We've gotten a better benefit package from the union than we had from Sodexo. So there's issues to iron out, and we're still working on some of that on the financials, but overall it's better than it was.
There's a little more respect going on around here. We have
top-of-the-line Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is saving me as a single person $50 a week for an awesome plan.
Worker Dan Dudevar claims management has a new attitude working inside the kitchen.
The management has taken a bigger role in what's going on and making sure everyone's being safe and make sure everyone's getting what they need back in the kitchen.
For CC8, I'm Andrew Schneider, reporting at the Curry College Student Center.
Still ahead on CPT, Nesson is looking for their next producer in a special contest, and a student at Curry is a finalist.
And 40 years strong, we'll take a look at how WMLN celebrated their birthday. Don't go away.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, where I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
Welcome back to CPT.
Now, Curry has their very own movie producer on campus. Senior Communications Manager Michael Last is one of the 10 contestants competing in Nesson's next producer contest. Mike's documentary, Free Rider, aired on Nesson after Red Sox opening day coverage. The winner will receive a prize of $20,000 and a possible job at Nesson. On behalf of everyone here at CC8, we would like to congratulate Mike on his accomplishments, and we want to wish him the best in the competition.
Now, the 8th annual Mr. Curry was held at the Student Center Gym on April 17th as part of spring weekend activities. Senior Pete Machinist took the crown. Categories in the all-male beauty pageant include talent, swimwear, formal wear, and a question and answer section. Peter and his escort stole the show by dancing to Ed Sheeran's song, Thinking Out Loud. Congrats to Peter and a great job done by the rest of the contestants.
And the month of April marked the 40th anniversary of Curry's radio station, WMLN.
As CPT's Matt Simonelli reports, a party was held on campus where alums from all over the country returned to celebrate its special day.
2015 marks a milestone for WMLN 91.5, which is celebrating 40 years of broadcasting.
91.5 WMLN Curry College Radio, celebrating 40 years of radio greatness.
We talked to current station manager Jamie Casagrande about the history of the station.
In the early years of the radio station, it was in the basement of the faculty building, so it was also just like a club, so it wasn't for academic credit, so it's really grown into this huge program.
To commemorate this achievement, alumni from around the country have returned to Curry to share their experiences with current students.
Every Friday we'd hop in our car and drive to the record distributors up and down Route 128 and pick up records, guys. So it was kind of cool.
Oh man, well, I was a kid that shy, didn't know really, how I was going to go about getting into the business, and MLN was just an opportunity for me to grow.
Here at the WMLN 40th anniversary celebration, we got a chance to talk to some of the alums about how WMLN prepared them for their future.
I grew as an individual, and I grew in confidence that this was the business, and also my passion grew because of WMLN. So, I think it really kick-started my career.
Keep working hard, folks, and get some practical experience. Do what you have to do to get experience. Do it here. Go to an internship somewhere, and you too can be an incredible success and wear things like this to reunions when everybody else is in a suit.
Alan Frank sat down with us to tell us about how much the 40th anniversary means to him.
It's a celebration of my students. Yes, I'm here, I've been here, but it's because of my students that we have become a successful FM public radio station at Curry College.
For CPT, I'm Matt Simonelli reporting.
Congrats, WMLN. You've meant so much to so many people.
Yeah, it's been 4 years of my life well spent at WMLN, and one I'll never forget. WMLN has done so much for my career, and so many who have walked through the doors there at WMLN, so congratulations to them.
Well, that's great. And let's toss it over to Brandon Enroth for a wrap-up of spring sports. Brandon?
Thanks, guys. It's been a busy semester for sports teams on campus. Two of the teams that have stood out the most have been men's baseball and women's softball. Both these teams have made the playoffs and are currently in their playoff series. All conference votings came out last week. Both softball players and baseball players made the team. Sophomore catcher Nick Cervillo led the way, first team for baseball. And for softball, Ariel LaRosa made second team. Those are the two major players that have been voted to All-Conference. Other team members have been voted to 3rd and 4th teams, respectively. Now, a Coach of the Year has been a very prestigious award in the Coastal Athletic Conference for many years. Curry's baseball coach, Dave Perdios, was voted the 2015 Coach of the Year for baseball. 1 year after removed of posting a 9-24 record, including a 2-4 mark in CCC play, this year's Curry squad completely turned it around, ending with a 19-12 record and a 10-6 in conference, just 2 games out of first place. This dramatic turnaround has been a very awesome success story for the coach, as he's been with Curry from 1999 up until 2000, posting a record of 4 CCC regular titles, 1 tournament championship, before taking a 2-year break. Perdios also happens to serve as the Director of Parks and Recreation for the town of Milton. As for the other sports, tennis was in action, as well as men's and women's lacrosse. Those teams unfortunately did not make the playoffs and will look to rebound next season. Kyle, back to you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Now, CC8 Chief Weather Forecaster Joe Shaka joins us now for a look at the summer weather preview and his hurricane prediction.
Thank you, Bree. I know it's been quite cool the last couple of months, and a lot of people, I'm sort of wondering, when is it going to warm up here? But I'm taking a look here at my June forecast, and you can see here parts of, and I would say most of the Northeast here will have an average or even slightly above average temperatures for the month of June. Unfortunately, I don't have the month of May here, but it looks like the month of May will be warm, looks quite warm actually next week. Now, as we move into the month of July, what I think will be taking place is, again, relatively warmer than average here across much of the Northeast, a little bit, maybe the exception of maybe the Cape and the Islands, Long Island, with that cool water we have sitting out there. And then as we move into the month of August, I think with the month of August coming up, I think there would be a little bit more transition here, but right now it is farther away. But with the oncoming of El Nino, I do think that much of the Northeast here will be cooler than normal. But right now this map here says above normal, but I do believe that this will trend cooler than normal, and that is my forecast as we head into the month of August. Now, if we take a look at the 3-month period here, the average for June, July, August, I do think we will see above average temperatures here in the Northeast, again with the exception that cool water along the coastal communities, keeping them on the cooler side for June, July, and August. And if we take a look at the precipitation, what we can expect for the 3-month period, again, relatively average precipitation, maybe some below average precipitation in parts of Maine. And then here, this is going to be a very interesting area, I think, as we head into the hurricane season. I will get to that in just a second, that there could be some interesting things will be taking place in the hurricane season. But again, about average or slightly below average, depending on where you are in the Northeast, precipitation-wise, for the summer. Now I'm sure everyone's looking forward, as we head into the hurricane season, what we can expect. So here's my 2015 official hurricane forecast. I do see that we will see 7 to 10 named storms, 3 to 6 of these storms becoming hurricanes, and 1 to 2 of these becoming major hurricanes. I do think this will be a slightly below average season due to the oncoming of El Nino. But as the saying goes, it only takes 1 storm for it to be a bad season. I'm Curry College Chief Weather Forecaster Joe Shaka for CPT. Kyle, back over to you.
Thanks, Joe. Well, finally, tonight, we need to say goodbye to seniors who will be leaving us at CC8. I know Brianne. And Brianne Callan, one of our leaders here at the TV station, and I want to personally wish you good luck because this is your last show here on CPT, and we'll definitely miss you.
Well, thank you, Kyle. I really appreciate that. And I also want to thank the other seniors who have been paving their trail: Christian Trask, Scott Smith, Kevin Coleman, Andrew Schneider, Alyssa McCann, Ben Millett, and Hillary Olson. We wish everyone good luck.
And for the rest of us, well, we'll see you in the fall. Have a great summer and good luck on finals.
See you later.